Nigeria's headline inflation eases to 32.15% in August 2024 from 33.40% in July. NNPC Limited releases estimated pump prices of petrol from Dangote Refinery based on September 2024 supply. Winner of One Nigeria Unity Fabric Competition emerges, receives 25 million naira prize. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 3 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Nta Daniels. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, says Nigeria's headline inflation eased to 32.15% in August 2024, down from 33.40% in July. Latest figures indicate that while inflation decreased month on month by 1.25%, it remains 6.35 percentage points higher than the 25.80% recorded in August 2023. Urban inflation hit 34.58% year-on-year, while rural inflation stood at 29.95%. Food inflation surged to 37.52%, driven by price increases beg your pardon, in staples like bread, maize, yam, and beverages. Despite the monthly decline, inflation rates remain significantly elevated compared to the previous years. The NNPC Limited has released estimated prices of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, obtained from the Dangote Refinery in its retail stations across the country. A statement from Olufemi Soneye, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPC Limited, indicates that the estimated prices are based on negotiated terms between NNPC and Dangote Refinery, which recognize the current international gasoline prices and the prevailing foreign exchange rate, in line with the provisions of the PIA. The NNPC Limited confirmed that it is paying Dangote Refinery in dollars for September 2024 petrol PMS offtake, as Naira transactions will only commence on October 1st, 2024. NNPC Limited reassured Nigerians that any discount from the Dangote Refinery will be passed on 100% to the general public. The United Arab Emirates has released 50 tons of humanitarian aid to the federal government to support flood victims. The relief materials were received by government officials from the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Office of the National Security Advisor at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. UAE Ambassador to Nigeria, Salem Al-Shamsi, handed over the items on behalf of President Sheikh Mohammed Al Nahyan. The ambassador said the gesture reflects the UAE's ongoing commitment of assisting countries impacted by natural disasters. Dr. Ahmed Dunoma, Permanent Secretary of Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, expressed gratitude on behalf of President Bola Tinubu, while acknowledging existing strong ties between Nigeria and the UAE. In the same vein, the NEMA Director General, Zubaida Umar, also appreciated the government of UAE for the gesture, noting that this will certainly complement the bold efforts by the federal government to provide succor and assist flood-affected persons to recover from the disaster. Since the advent of the current administration, President Bola Tinubu's government has prioritized the promotion of innovation as a platform for development, particularly among the youth. In this wise, the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu inaugurated the One Nigeria Unity Fabric competition as one of her pet projects. At the presentation of the winner of the competition in Abuja, the First Lady says the Unity Fabric will no doubt showcase the uniqueness of the diverse cultures of Nigeria. The winner of the competition was presented with a 25 million naira check to assist her in setting up an SME business in the sector. And armed with the mission of changing the landscape of learning for development, the 10th edition of Champions of Talent Development Conference holding in Abuja is leveraging the digitalized world to foster inclusive economic development. A conference taking place from Tuesday 17th to Thursday 19th with the theme Igniting Sustainable National Development Through Learning and Development. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria say it's a deliberate approach to deepen capability.
I will tell you that as a leader, the knowledge you can manage is what will make you excel. And that is the crucial nature of learning and development. You cannot stop learning until you die. Yes. The day you stop learning, that's the end. So learning for me is very pivotal to every person, every sector, every industry, every platform.
So the biggest challenge that we see, especially around organizations in learning and development, is that it is considered to be a disposable skill. And that's that.
Champions of Talent Development Conference is focusing on personal, professional, and organizational development across sectors, building a culture of lifelong learning. The goal of National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) is total enrollment of Nigerians and legal residents within the shortest possible time. This, guests on Good Morning Nigeria acknowledge, is critical for legal identity and tracking of persons digitally across sectors for enshrining security. Lydia Sampson reports.
National Identity Number NIN, Gaston Good Morning Nigeria reiterates, is the key for unlocking opportunities and inclusion to programs and policies. They are categorical that already in Nigeria today, the NIN is required for virtually every procedure, urging Nigerians yet to enroll to do so.
The national identification number is a legal identity, so it is compulsory for all Nigerians and legal residents to have it. And when you look at the theme of the event, the digital public infrastructure, the NIN is a digital identifier. It is not an analog identifier. Why did we call it digital? Because it can be verified real-time online.
License some front-end partners to go to the local areas and do enrollments for us, because we can't be everywhere, even though we are in all the local governments and state office. So these front-end partners are actually in the locality enrolling people, and they are the ones that actually bring in a lot of enrollment.
The kind of vision that and the kind of zeal and enthusiasm that have been displayed by NIMC in the last 5 years, if it had been there since the early 2000s, when it was started, we will have captured everybody.
They suggested the need for the harmonization of database across organizations for seamless identification. Determined to enroll in more Nigerians, National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) says with more infrastructure, the process is seamless with more enrollment centers within and outside Nigeria. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
In more than 15,235 economic trees believed to serve diverse purposes in the fight against climate change, particularly in the afforestation and restoration of degraded landscapes in some impacted communities in Bauchi State, have been planted by the Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, ACRSO. Charles Alpha reports.
About 1,070.35 hectares of land along Malmo-Bauchi Airport Road in Malmo community are being used to plant mango, cashew, acacia, neems, and more. This is in addition to the one-person, one-tree initiative spanning 319 hectares. 4,633 seedlings have been distributed for the one-person, one-tree initiative for ownership and sustainability. This effort by the Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, ACRISEL, is in response to the need of the Malmo people who perpetually face wild wind that has continued to blow away houses and infrastructure in the area. Through their forestation and other landscape restoration efforts, the ACRISEL project has restored about 67,932.05 hectares of degraded lands across 20 participating states, as well as the restoration of biodiversity and farmlands for farming activities.
The brain behind this project is for wind breaking, because there is too much wind in this area, in northern part of the country.
In another development, 22,600 households in Galambi, Kangere communities and an average of 1,500 cattle will no longer travel long distance in search of drinkable water. After the World Bank project, ACRISEL's solar-powered water scheme, as well as cattle trunks for their use were provided.
The water provided very close to us. It's just a matter of 200 yards from here, from my house.
In a day, they used to spend 1,000 to 2,000 naira a day for water.
This project has been implemented in 20 locations in Bauchi State by ACRISEL. The target is 100 water schemes across the states, with 5 in each of the local government areas. Charles Alpha, Nta News.
Time for a break. More reports shortly. Welcome back. Let's now talk about road matters. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, recently announced the arrest of 823 drivers and confiscated 634 licenses for traffic light, zebra crossing and other violations within the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Abuja. Earlier, the FCT FRSC Sector Commander, Mukhtar Chore, appeared on News at 10 and gave more insight into the objectives of the operation. You recently launched Operation Carrara, where hundreds of traffic rule violators were arrested. Now let's talk about how you intend to achieve and what you intend to achieve with this.
Yes, thank you so very much for giving us this opportunity to come to the studio and talk to Nigerians about the things that FRS is doing, especially in the FCT command. Let me first appreciate the Corps Marshal for the support, tremendous indeed, that he has been giving the command to ensure that we perform better. Just recently, he injected about 10 additional vehicles and over 150 additional staff to ensure that we deal with this issue of running on red in the FCT. If we have to build a city that is a model city, then we must ensure that people obey traffic lights at traffic junctions. All signal junctions people must obey all the traffic lights that are fixed. They are meant for our use. In the last 2 weeks, today exactly, we've been able to apprehend 1,525 offenders, and out of which we had about 1,657 offenses. Of this, 228 are actually offenses related to lifetime violation, which is people running on red. And then another 220 offenders were booked for road marking violation. So these are the things we are doing in the FCT, and we intend to sustain it. The commercial is dead serious about this, and he has given us a marching order. And of course, you know, as a paramilitary agency, when your boss says do this, you must be seen to do it. We truly want to appreciate him for all of the support we are getting.
Okay, after the arrest, I mean, what happens to the violators? The
violators, normally when they are being arrested, there's a fine attached to lifetime violation. And in addition to that, we've been booking for dangerous driving. And dangerous driving is the amount attached to it is quite huge. But at a point, we had to stand down dangerous driving as a primary offense, in addition to as a secondary offense, in addition to the primary offense of lifetime violation. This is because the offense of dangerous driving alone is about 50,000. And so the commercial, of course, being a kind-hearted person, decided to say we should step down the dangerous driving. So in the long run, we are able to just book just 39 people.
Well, commendable effort, I must say, Mukhtar. But the big question now is, will it be sustained? I mean, what's the lifespan, or is it a one-off thing?
No, certainly. Certainly, for the commercial to have given us 100 vehicles, and in addition to that, he gave us some motorcycles, motorbikes. We've been seeing them at traffic junctions lately. He intends to sustain it, and we're ready, you know, to ensure that we give in our best, to ensure that we bequeath to our country a decent traffic environment, especially in the FCT, where we intend to at least attract foreign direct investment. If we have a decent traffic in the city, you know, when people come with their money, they'll see well-behaved people, and they say, well, these guys are decent people, so we're bringing in money. But if you see a chaotic situation, people begin to understand, you know, people's attitude or attitude of a people can be determined by the way they drive. And so we intend to insist that people don't run on red in the FCT.
Moving on, the Fiti and All Islam of Nigeria has felicitated with the entire Muslim Ummah in the world, and Nigeria in particular, on the celebration of the birth of Prophet Muhammad. A statement by its president, Sheikh Mohammed Arabi Ahmad Abdul Fattah, says it is in line with the direct injunction of Allah to love, support, praise, and follow the teachings and sunnah of Prophet Muhammad. He says this year's observance of Mawlid is coming on the heels of the catastrophic flood disaster that engulfed Maiduguri, taking along with it lives, property, and causing damages, and calls on all Nigerians, corporate bodies, embassies, multinational corporations to come to the aid of the flood victims in Maiduguri and other parts of Nigeria. He also reminds Muslims of the excellent position of Prophet Muhammad as the best example in character, morals, and life in general. Into politics now, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, is urging stakeholders in the September 21 governorship election in Edo State to adhere to the principles of democracy, respect the rights of others, and prioritize the interest of Edo people as the council strives towards deepening democracy. It was at a stakeholders' engagement and voters' sensitization media briefing ahead of the polls. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This exercise is targeted towards a peaceful, transparent, and inclusive upcoming election.
The need to ensure that the September 21 governorship election in Edo State is conducted in line with the rules of the game is the major reason for this gathering. To the electorate, they must discharge their civic responsibility in accordance with the law, while INEC and the security agencies are charged to remain neutral and impartial by providing a level playing field for all political parties and candidates.
Everybody is free to express concern, but we will look at it and advise where we can. We will take it to the appropriate authority.
Representatives of political parties and other stakeholders expressed commitment to deepening the nation's democracy. Timothy Yusuf, Nta News.
The key players in Nigeria's creative industry are sharing views on the importance of leveraging potentials in arts and entertainment as national messaging on patriotism and cultural heritage are best communicated to citizens through arts and media. This was the crux of submissions at a colloquium themed Harnessing Entertainment and Creativity to Boost National GDP and Combat Crime and Insecurity to mark 50th birthday of Solomon Nta, Director, Press Leadership Newspapers. Oluseye Adeabo has details.
Solomon Nta, founder of Alpha Nigeria Limited and the publisher of Sportstainment News, an online sports and entertainment newspaper, has been active in the last 2 decades, using creativity, arts and entertainment to advocate for peaceful coexistence. For him, imparting humanity positively is the main target. This colloquium is on harnessing potentials in the creative industry, its contributions to national GDP, and also how it curtails social vices.
That there is a lot the country needs to do to be able to boost the creative industry to contribute to the GDP.
The government should go to the creative industry and create a synergy with them, fund them.
Television is like a mind bender, and if we're deliberate about using the motion picture, we can address a lot about our country, the issue about our nationhood.
The assemblage is also for the celebration of Solomon Nta Golden Jubilee.
We have different kinds of jobs the entertainment industry can create for our youth and teenagers. So let the government fund it in many ways. There are many ways of funding.
50 years. We appreciate God for a milestone. I pray that God will keep him, give him good health, sound mind.
Long life and prosperity. He shall get all the money he wants. God shall see him through to 60, 70, and 80 and more in the mighty name of Jesus.
The man of many caps, Nta is a journalist and a devout Christian at the Praise Church Abuja, who has also contributed to the spread of the gospel.
Coming with thanksgiving unto the Lord, whether it's 40 or 50 or 70, you know that it's not you that brought yourself to that age. It's God. So 50 years is remarkable. And I celebrate with him, celebrating 50 years, and it's wise to come to God to say thank you.
May the years ahead be beautiful. In the name of Jesus.
The Thanksgiving featured special prayer sessions for Solomon Nta and a better country. In Abuja, Oluseye Adeabo, Nta News.
Next is sports news.
Super Eagles winger Ademola Lookman was at his best mettle as he scored a goal and bagged an assist in Atalanta's 3-2 win over Fiorentina on Sunday's Serie A game. The Nigerian international set up Matteo Retegui for Atalanta's first goal. The talented winger then scored the winning goal for Gian Piero Gasperini's side late in the first half. It was Lookman's first goal of the season for the Ladea.
Lookman's going to go after this one. Lookman still going. And still Lookman back into the side and immediately back with a goal.
In Formula One, Lando Norris drove an extraordinary race to catch and pass title rival Max Verstappen as his McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri won an engrossing Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Piastri pulled off an audacious pass on Charles Leclerc, who had led from pole position to take the lead shortly after both had made their only pit stop for fresh tyres and held on for the rest of the race under immense pressure from the Ferrari. Norris fought back after his late pit stop, having started from 15th place on hard tyres, while the leader shows mediums to pass Verstappen with 3 laps to go.
The top step of the podium, Oscar Piastri wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
And that's News Desk at 3 on Nta News24. Thank you for watching. I am Nta Daniels.